YouTube, man. You can tell by the title of the video, you already know what it is, man. How to start a clothing brand in 2025. Y'all asked for it, y'all got it. Comment down below, let me know what kind of content to come with in the future. It's my first video, so assuming you are all new here, subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what kind of content I should be coming with in the future. I'm gonna try to be as consistent as possible, and let's just get straight to the point. So, if you're not familiar with me or my brand already, my name is Eccentric Brand. I'm 18. I'm a clothing brand owner, fashion influencer, all of the above. So, my brand is called Eccentric. Now, I'll put the Instagram right here and some product pictures right here. So, yeah, Eccentric Brand is my brand name. I've been running my brand for about a year now, and I'll definitely say I learned a lot. I had some ups and downs, just all of the above, good and bad money management. I've seen it all. So I could definitely say I'm talking from a point of experience and not just researching other people's stuff and whatnot. This is all coming from a first-hand perspective of a brand owner and trying to guide you guys into doing things the right way and without making some of the mistakes that I've made firsthand in the past. So let's get right into it. But just a little disclaimer, I know it's easy to look at other brand owners' success and feel tempted to start your own business, but if you're watching this video and you're looking for a get-rich scheme, I don't recommend pursuing starting a clothing brand. Now, in the clothing brand business and just in this industry, you're gonna see a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hardships, you know, good and the bad. But the only thing that's going to keep you going and keep you pushing through is if you're passionate and determined. So my advice to you all is to chase what you love and the money will follow. Don't chase the money, chase what you love and the money will follow. If you're chasing the money, you'll get caught up doing wherever you feel like the money is at, and oftentimes that's not what you like to do. So that's why you see a lot of people now, even grown people, who are just completely miserable because they're going through with things they don't like. Even doctors, school teachers, you name it. It's people who are miserable because they try to chase the money and there was in something, but it wasn't truly something that they love to do. So my advice to you all, once again, is to pursue what you love. Don't chase the money. Chase what you love and the money will follow. Now, the very first thing that we're going to talk about is naming your brand. So when you're in the process of naming your brand, the first question you want to ask yourself is, what do you want your brand to mean? Now, my brand name is Eccentric, and that word represents being different, dressing different, and just how being different or quote-unquote weird applies to dressing and clothes. So coming out with products that are different. That's what eccentric means to me. So what do you want your brand to mean? What do you want it to represent? Now, it could be a word. It could be a name. It could be your name. I mean, you never know. Like, yeah, you never know. It's really up to you. But it's really just about what you want your brand to mean. And that's how you're going to end up coming with your brand name. So my second point is think outside the box. So try to go with things that are different, maybe things you haven't heard before, just as original as possible. So the stereotype for a brand that's just copy and paste would be like hustle, trap, vision. You know what I'm saying? And my third pointer is find your slogan. That's not really something that's super common anymore, but it is appreciated. I think it's underappreciated actually, but yeah. So the first slogan that we came up with was "We are unconventional." So unconventional is another word that represents the same thing that eccentric means, just being different. You know what I'm saying? So we applied that to our brand. It's actually on our first t-shirt. It says "We are unconventional" on the back. Two other examples would be Nike, "Just Do It," or Bape, "Apes will never kill ape." So, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Having a slogan is something that is definitely underappreciated, and it makes it easier to come up with products and stuff like that. Like, for example, the shirt I have on right now, it says "Born for a Reason" from the brand Veternal Studios. Now, the brand is Veternal Studios, but the slogan that they've been promoting is "Born for a Reason." All right, number 2, designing your logo and your first products. So my first pointer is to try to make it as different as possible. And I feel like you're probably gonna say, okay, Zach, that's super like obvious, but like I say some things to avoid that are just super common, and a lot of brands now are designs with stars and crosses and stuff like that. Now it depends on what you want your brand to represent, of course, because it might be applicable, but those things are really replicated, so I try to avoid stuff like that. Now my second point is going to be Photoshop and Procreate. Now these are two programs that are heavily used, and I definitely recommend, if you have access to them, to design. If you have an iPad, Procreate is a great thing to use. If you're working off your laptop, Photoshop is probably your best bet. So if you're feeling stumped and you just don't know where to start with your design, one thing that you can do is look at other brands for inspiration. A lot of times people who are just starting their brands are going to look at other brands, maybe on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you see them at, and kind of take little key things from their brands and apply it to their own. Like, a lot of people do that. That's not really copying. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just look to other brands for inspiration, that can be a big help if you're feeling stuck. And my last point is finalizing designs. Now, when it comes to finalizing, for me, the best way that I come up with a product is first drawing out what I want it to be on by hand, draw it out on paper, and then end up sending it to a designer who finalizes it. Now they're gonna see whatever words I draw or whatever designs or whatever, and be able to replicate that into whatever program they're using and come out with a final mock-up. Now, which takes me to my next point. Number 3, finding a manufacturer and ordering your samples. Now the first thing to consider is it a reasonable price within your budget? And if it is, go for it. Now finding the right manufacturer, I feel like, is fairly simple. A lot of people wonder like, oh, am I gonna get scammed, woo woo. Honestly, I don't think it's hard to find. Like, the key things to look for in a manufacturer is, what are their reviews, how many orders do they have this sold now. And another thing that you can do is, when you first text a manufacturer, when you first reach out or inquire about getting a sample made, ask to see their products. You can ask them stuff like that. The first thing I always ask is, if it's a hoodie, can I see the hoodies you made in the past? I recently did a ski mask drop, so I asked the manufacturer, can I see the ski mask, the balaclavas that you made in the past? And once I find the one that has the closest product to my vision, then that's the one I'm gonna work with. And then the next thing would be to look into the prices that they offer and just see how that works with their budget. So yeah. But to connect back to my second point, when you get your mock-up made, basically your finalized design, that's what you're going to be sending to your manufacturer. And then you want to come up with a list of product details. For example, GSM, the weight of the product, specific stuff like printing. It's going to either be, screen printed or direct to garment. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Little details that are going to matter when they come out, because if you don't tell the manufacturer the details that you want, they can't come out with the right product, and that would be you to blame. So it's important to make a detailed list. I will repeat it again. Make a detailed list. When you coming up with a product, always have a detailed list of all the stuff that you want, all the specifics, the important stuff, all that kind of stuff that sets your product apart from the next. Write it down, make a list, and send it to the manufacturer, so when they make it, it can come out exactly how you envision. So number 4, my fourth point is creating your website. Now my recommended website creator and money management is going to be Shopify. Shopify is probably the easiest way you can go about tracking your funds, managing your money, creating your website, and running down your orders. Shopify is going to do this all for you in one place. So I definitely recommend Shopify. I've been using it since the beginning, and it's going well for me. Now, as far as website design, one thing you could do is find a website designer or find a website with design presets. My sales increased when I made it more simple. Now, the more simplistic your website is, the easier it is for customers to just get through it and just have a smoother experience in purchasing your product. Now you want it to be smooth for your customers. The more complex and complicated you make it, and it's just stuff everywhere and everything is just all over the place, they're gonna have a hard time purchasing. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. A lot of people give up on websites. They be like, okay, it's too much going on. And you don't want that to happen because that's gonna affect your sales. The next big point is pre-order versus pre-made. Now, what does this mean? First of all, it's based on your budget, I would say. Now, there's pros and cons to each. Now, with pre-order, a pro is very helpful for those with a lower budget, and customers help you fund your first drop. Now, the cons, it's going to make your customers wait a lot longer. Now, with pre-made, everything comes in quicker. You have it on hand, actually. That's what it means to have product on hand. It's pre-made. So the manufacturer ships it directly to you, and then customers begin purchasing, as opposed to a pre-order where they pay for it and then you fund the money and then send it to the manufacturer and it all goes into production. So you see the difference with the wait time, and the wait time oftentimes is it's out of your hands. You know what I'm saying? So I've had waits that have been months, like literally months, like 2 months, 3 months, and people will be consistently DMing me and emailing me in my Shopify inbox talking about where's my order, are you guys scamming? No. But this is the thing though, that's one thing about pre-order. It's helpful in the sense up front of you don't have to pay out of pocket. However, it can really affect your brand rep because their first experience with working with your brand is having to wait a long time to get their product, and people don't like that. People really don't. I still run pre-orders because it helps you to make the most money as well. You probably profit more if you pay everything up front. You pay for it and it's done. Now, whether you make the money all back or not isn't completely up to you. If you run a pre-order, you have a good chance at seeing what products are winning products and how the orders do. You know what I'm saying? If they don't do well, then you can work around that. If you buy everything up front and then it doesn't do well, there's nothing you can do. Like my very first drop, I ordered 80 t-shirts. I did 40 black and 40 white. And I ordered them pre-made. And when they came in and I started my orders, they weren't doing too well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had a lot of t-shirts that were just sitting and just stacking up, and it was just a pain. Now, as opposed to my Eternal Life drop, which is a pre-order, orders come in every day. It's been my most consistent drop and my most consistent products with purchasing and everything like that. I know it's a winning product, so I know the orders are going to come in. There's nothing sitting up that I have to worry about selling. The sales are happening. So that's the difference. Now, the next big thing that we're going to talk about is brand identity. So having a brand identity, and in fact building your brand identity, is very important. So for me, my brand is Eccentric, but the big identity right now is behind Eternal Life. Now, I feel like when you have a winning product, that's when you start to realize what your brand identity is. Your first big product to blow up and to really, it'll really have a staple on your brand, I feel like. And then from there, you can see what people are rocking with. For example, Eternal Life is covered in rhinestones, and that's been our first huge drops. Like, all the Eternal Life goes quick. Like, we have the gray sets, the black sets. We just came out with green, khaki, and off-white, and those are all going crazy. We plan to keep coming out with more Eternal Life based products. Why? Because they're going crazy. That's helped us build our brand identity. So the whole thing with brand identity is you start to see what's doing well, what people are digging, and then you build off of that to keep the hype going. So brand identity, that's huge. Alright y'all, so number 7, and my last major point, is first drop. Now for your very first drop, my advice would be not to set your expectations too high because it becomes easier to get let down. Now promo. Promo is a big thing before any drop you do, and it's made the difference between my drops that went well and my drops that flopped. Now before you drop, you should have promoted the drop for at least, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. That way you can build up the hype behind the drop and the products, really get them out there. You have the samples that came in, wear them, post in them, continue to build up the hype. I would do it through TikTok, Instagram Reels, Instagram feed posts, all of the above. You want to get your name out there, you want to get your product out there, so when the time comes for the drop, people already are aware of it and are ready to purchase. Every time that I do a drop, I always post in the products. Now, every time that you put on clothes, you're a billboard for something, somebody, some brand. So why not be a billboard for your own brand? So my final point is keep on going. Now, I would say you made it this far already, just keep on going. By the time you get to the point where you're dropping, it might not go as well as you want up front, but hey, keep on pushing, keep on marketing, keep running your ads, just keep rocking your stuff, getting people in your brand, and just keep pushing for whatever your big goal is. Now, that's another thing. Setting goals is a great way of maintaining and holding yourself accountable for whatever it is you want to achieve. Now, if I say, okay, I want to do a 10K month, you know what I'm saying? I know that it's work that comes with that. I got to do a lot of marketing. I'm running ads. It's a lot of money that goes in to get a lot of money out. Alright, y'all, and that's going to conclude my video, how to start a clothing brand in 2025. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what kind of content I should be coming out with in the future. If you're new here, I appreciate you subscribe for all the new content coming in the future. So yeah, follow my Instagram @YoungZR, put it right here. Follow my TikTok, trying to be consistent on there with promotion as well, @YoungZR, and subscribe to the YouTube. Nothing else to say. Let's do it.